Hi everyone, I'm your coach Todd Hughley, and today I want to talk about club face and path and just the golf swing as a whole and how you really need to look at improvement. Now, before we get into that, please hit the subscribe button, like the videos, comment below, and share. Now let's get started. So over the weekend, I was lucky enough to work with players of all abilities, from brand new beginners to players who play for a living. And of course, they get different lessons, and a key component to each one, regardless of if they're playing for fun or if they're playing for money, is which way is this club moving at impact, this club head, and what is that club face doing? And how are we getting there? Now, I had some players that are in their late 50s and 60s, and their bodies don't work quite as well. So they're definitely a little bit more loose and relaxed, but they still have a path that's swinging more out to that direction. They're not coming across and they're not trying to do anything crazy. However, their swings are still based upon the pivot points and understanding when the club comes down, it pivots back out in front of us. And again, which way is our path? So if we're coming down, we have the pivot point and we're working over, say, right field, boom, okay, golfers are going to hit nice little draws or straight shots. And I'll hear someone say, you know what, I will hook if I'm doing that, or I'll pull if I'm doing that. And generally, the response is, you know what, you need to work on your path and your club face control. You're not very good with that. And that's something I had really good discussion with Mike last time I saw him as we were talking about this, is how many golfers get so caught up in what their golf swing looks like and what's wrong and what's right according to the status quo, as opposed to just running this club into the golf ball on the right path and having that face match up to the desired shot shape. What are we looking for? Are we looking for straight-ish? Are we looking for a draw? Are we looking for a fade, low, high? All that comes from ball position, what the club face is doing, and the path. And it's amazing when golfers forget about all the things about, wow, how pretty is my golf swing? Do I need to be here? Do I need to be there? And yes, in my world, again, hands come down, club pivots into the golf ball. To me, this is a must. But then that player needs to have that path going over that direction. Okay. So I have them do little drills where they just take it back, hit shots that go out to, I hate to say the right, but I talk about 12, 1, and 11, and their shots are starting between 12:30 and 1. Okay. And that will shallow out your downswing, regardless if you're like this up here at the top and then you come down, or if you're a little, you can't turn quite as much, you can still come from the inside. Or if you have that trail foot back, you can come from the inside. Or even if you have to play from an open stance, you can still come from the inside and hit shots that start to the right, which is generally going to be straight shots. And for years, it used to drove me crazy how coaches would just tell people swing to the right and not really address the root cause of what was going on. But so many golfers nowadays look at YouTube and want Rory's swing. They want Tiger's swing. They want Nellie's swing. They want Scheffler's swing. And what these guys have in common is the pivot points. It's just remarkable how many of them have this in their golf swings, and so many people ignore it. And then of course they're aware of path and what their club face is doing, and that starts with the fundamentals. So stop thinking less about pretty and more about functionality. Do I have a swing that's going to give me the shot shape that I want? Is it consistent? Am I hitting it 75 to 80% of the time? If not, what do we need to go practice? Do we need to go practice our grip? Do we need to go work on our path? Do we need to go work on how our body moves, how our feet move, what's happening, what's our head doing, what's our tension level? There's a lot of things going on, and that's why it's invaluable to have a swing coach. So please send your videos in so I can coach those up. I will give you the address. I have been doing a ton of that lately, and golfers are having success worldwide. It's all about simplicity and understanding, controlling this, controlling path, and less about trying to be a tour pro. Everybody's different, but we can all hit very simple shots that are very good, and we can have them start either a little bit between 12 and 1, or if we want to come over the top like most people and swing over 11. And in my videos, I try very hard to be coming from the inside. I want to shallow that club, regardless if I'm hitting a draw or a fade, but I want it to be shallow. So pay attention to your path, pay attention to your club face, less about perfect form. Be relaxed, no tension. The only tension you really have is a sturdy grip, which is wants to be about a 5 on a scale from 1 to 10, but the rest is very much relaxed. Unless you're in the deep rough, then you're holding on for dear life, and they're going to find that out in the US Open this week, because I've heard horror stories from friends that are down there that the rough is out of control. So great video. I hope you like this. If you have any questions, please let me know.